Okay, it's a day after I shot the last clip for the last shop update video. So, as you can see, I took the International out. We're going to test out those batteries. So I put those batteries in the International, and I don't know the status of the charge. I didn't even check it, tell you the truth. The status of the charge before I put the batteries in. All I know is that thing cranked over and started right up. It cranked over real rapidly, more than it's ever done before. So I put it outside. Again, I never checked the status of the batteries before I took it out and put it in the cold. So last night it was like 25 degrees, 24, 25 degrees all night long, and it's been out there for like 24 hours. So what we're going to do is just go out, start it up, and I'll leave you in the cab as I do it. Now, I didn't plug in the block heater nor that charger thing. Let's go out and see what the status of it is. I just did a walk around on the Ram because after I took it out, I came back in here this morning and just washed it. Got a story to tell about a load that I was supposed to take to Michigan on Monday, but that'll be for another clip. So we're out here. I just opened the door, and as you can see by the ice in the gutter and the ice on the parking lot, it's still cold. It's still about 27 degrees. Let's see what happens here. Now I let this thing cycle down, lights go back off. Yeah, that's the air. I've still got to fix that fan clutch. Let it run for about 10 minutes or so. The next issue was going to be not an issue, but the next test is going to be letting it sit for 3, 4, maybe 5 days before I start it up. But I'll bring you back. So I told you there was a little story about a haul. I think in the last shop update I kind of mentioned that I had to go to Michigan with some switchgear. I was supposed to pick it up yesterday, which was Saturday. So the guy that I had to pick it up from had a funeral that he had to go to. It must have been a pretty close friend because he went to the funeral, went to the cemetery, everything, which is kind of unheard of in the wintertime around here. Going to a cemetery, that is. Anyways, he said be there between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. That'll give him time to get out of the funeral, get out of the cemetery, grab something to eat, get home, change and stuff, and I could pick up the switchgear. So I left probably around 5 o'clock. It's about a 30-mile drive up to that place. Left around 5 o'clock. Go to getting off at the exit, and I get a phone call from the guy, and he says, "Where are you?" And I says, "I'm getting off the exit right now. I'll be there within 2 minutes." He says, "There's an issue." He says, I got done with it, got back over here, The guys were supposed to crate the switchgear up. When I left this morning, I gave them instructions. I get back here and they hadn't done it. They hadn't crated any of it up. So there's 3 pieces of switchgear that was supposed to be crated up. Apparently they had one kind of done, which he says I don't want to ship just one piece to this guy in Michigan. We need to do something else. And I says, well, listen, if it's not done and it's not ready, then we're just going to have to wait until Monday. So a guy had asked me if I could haul some rebar for him on Monday, and I told him I couldn't do it Monday because I had to go to Michigan. I told him Tuesday, so I got a hold of him and told him that the haul to Michigan had been put off and I would be able to take it if he wanted me to. And he got back to me today and said, yeah, we're good for delivering on Monday. So the haul to Michigan's off. This guy's going to get his guys to get this stuff done, and I should be able to pick it up later on Monday, and after I drop the rebar off maybe, and take it to Michigan on Tuesday morning. But anyways, that's kind of some of the things that I run into. I got to tell you, the guy was really pissed about his guys not doing it. He was so pissed he didn't even want to call him at home to find out what the hell went wrong, because he knew he'd be screaming and yelling at these guys, and I don't blame him. But kind of this goes along with the issue of trying to find good help anymore. It's so hard to find good help, people that are willing to work and can figure out, can kind of do things by themselves, figure out what needs to be done and get it done. But anyways, I'll bring you back. Okay, you're looking at the haul truck again, and the reason I'm bringing you over here to show you the haul truck is because I think it's time to get back into it again. I'm not done with the International. It's not on the road yet, but I think it's time that we actually started thinking about getting back into the haul truck build again. So I want to pull, I've got to pull the cab off of it, and there's all of this time that has been spent away from this. It's still being thought of. So one of the things that I want to do is I'm not really happy with the way this floor is in the cab is laid out. Now this floor is really rigid and provides a lot of stability to the cab shell itself. So I'm not sure what I can do about it. But one of the things that I would like to do is get this hump out of here. Get this hump out of here for 2 reasons. To get this hump out of here for the seat mounting, again, I want to have an air ride seat on the driver's side, and to drop it down a little bit lower, so that it can provide just a little bit more sitting viewing area, because the seat is going to be lower. Now, again, it's going to be an air ride seat, so it rises and lowers, but I kind of want to get down lower so that it provides me better viewing access out the windshield, and also mainly provides better access to get back to the sleeper. So again, want to get back into this thing. There's a couple of things that has to be done. This has to, I've got to think about that. I've got to think about my mounting design for the sleeper itself and how it's going to attach to the cab. As probably most of you know, that the sleeper has air suspension on it. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to adapt mounting the sleeper to the cab, or mount the sleeper. There's a boot that goes in between the sleeper opening and the cab opening that provides flexibility. But I've got to figure out how much flexibility and make sure that I don't get differences in movement between the cab and the sleeper greater than that flexibility of that boot will provide. So these are all things that have to be thought about. I really want to get into this engine. As you probably know from the other shop updates, I've got a rebuild kit that I got from Brian Block, and that has better piston design. Now it's pistons for a Cummins, but it's pistons for an older model Cummins 8.3 that has a bigger combustion chamber built into the piston. And as you also know, I've got that carbon fiber intake that's going to be built. Now something has to be done about the head. I've got some issues with the head that I have described before, but something has to be done about that. But I would like to be able to get the engine out and start going through that, get it built up, and get it to the point where I can get it started. So again, you know, we're getting to the point in the International where it's going to be getting very close to be able to be put on the road. So it's time to start thinking about getting back into this again. So let's move on to some other things. Okay, we're going to get into something that I haven't touched on in a while here. The trailer bounce. As some of you that follow my channel know from quite a while ago, I was having an issue with the trailer, my Diamond C trailer, bouncing. Most prevalent over on concrete roads where the expansion joints are heaving. But the bounce gets harmonic, and it gets so bad after a while. If you're on these roads for quite a while, it gets so bad that you actually have to stop and maybe start up again. Now that has only happened on one road, and it's happened repeatedly on that one road. So it's not just the trailer, it's not just indicative of those types of trailers, which is a gooseneck. It's got a 38-foot deck on it and a torque tube. So, and the reason I'm mentioning that is because there's been speculation about what causes it, what doesn't cause it. We all know that it's caused by the road surface. The issue with the entire thing is creates a harmonic effect where it keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse the longer that you drive over these types of road surfaces. And again, to the point where sometimes, and on one particular road, one road that I have been on, you actually have to stop the truck to get it to stop doing it, and then start over again to the point where you can't stand it anymore and stop it again. One of the things that was suggested, a lot of things have been suggested. There's a lot of things that have been suggested that the cause is, but one of the things that was suggested, and I said that I would try out, is putting shock absorbers onto the axles. So here we are. And the reason we're here is because a couple of clips ago in this video, I had explained to you that I was waiting for them to bundle up a load so that I could go pick it up so that I could take it to Michigan. Well, guess what? It's a bunch of days later and I'm still waiting for it. The guy keeps telling me, oh, it's going to be any time now. It'll be definitely tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and goes and it's not there. So I've been not getting into anything I've been trying to do small things, thinking that I didn't want to get into something big and then have to drop it and get out and go pick the load up and then have to go to Michigan the next day. So I've been kind of finding small things that I wanted to catch up on, and this is one of them. I got these plates, and what these plates are is you probably recognize is the shackle plate or U-bolt plate for the leaf springs on the trailer. And what I did is Dexter makes the axles on my trailer. I got a hold of Dexter and got 4 of these plates for it. Tandem axles, so there's 4 plates. So what I did is I also got bolts. I used bolts. Just bear with me and I'll grab a shock. So I got the bolts, and what they're gonna do is, here we go, one-handed. Motor up to it like that. Of course, this plate will bolt onto the bottom of the springs in lieu of the plate that's on there now. I didn't want to weld these things on there. I thought it would be easier to prefabricate them, get really good welds on it, instead of trying to weld on my back underneath a kind of a cramped trailer. So I got the 4 plates. What I am going to do is weld it just like you see. Nut and washer goes on there. And then up above the bottom of the deck, what I'm going to have to do is put a piece of angle iron that the top can mount to. Put a piece of angle iron up there that I can get the shock into, bolted into. Now, I'm probably, it must have got dented in the shop. It wasn't like that when I bought it. I don't think it'll affect it so far up. It won't affect it. But anyways, I'm probably going to bolt that angle iron onto the bottom underside of the trailer framing, and then just bolt this to the angle iron, and do this and see. You know, I've got to do 4 of them, so see if it makes any difference whatsoever. What some people's thinking is, and I actually hit a guy from Europe saying that all of the trailers that they produce in Europe have shocks on them. Now, I've never seen a trailer, and I'm talking like utility trailer or a deck over trailer like I have, never seen any of them in the United States that had shocks on them. Some people say this is going to take that resonance out because it'll dampen that bouncing effect. We'll find out. Other people are saying you need to put airbags on it. I don't know. But anyways, I just thought I'd share this with you, that I'm working on that while I'm waiting for a phone call. Okay, so I'm kind of still waiting for that guy to get a hold of me about that thing, but in the meantime, what I've done is got these things welded out. hopefully it's going to start getting better weather. I know it's going to snow and get cold again, but maybe sometime I can get the trailer out behind the shop and see about pulling those existing plates off of and putting these new plates onto the trailer to see about that. I've also damn gimbal, sorry. I probably also used up the angle iron that I had secured to attach the top of the shock absorber. So I'm probably going to have to get angle iron, but I'll check that out, and we'll see what we need to get for that. I've also established the travel height of these shock absorbers, which is 10 inches. It goes from 25 inches extended center to center to 15 inches compressed center to center. So I'm going to do some research about where I should put that, put the shock as far as the travel mode goes, so that I have enough room for compression and enough room for when I get bounce that the shock won't bottom out on it. But I'll bring you back and let you know about it. Okay, so I'm sitting in the cab of the International. It's been 3 days since I started it. It's not plugged in. It's not been plugged into the block heater or the charger. So I'm going to try and start it. Let's see what happens. Again, it's going to go through that cycle. Oh, yeah. 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 So apparently that's what it was. It's just the batteries. Yeah, it cranked way over. Now, it is warmer today. I think it's like 38 degrees when I got up this morning. So it wasn't, didn't get real cold last night, but the previous night it had been down to lower 20s. So, yeah. I think that's what the issue was, is the batteries, but over time I will let you know. I am, it is warmer today, like I just said, so what I'm going to do is probably move this and maybe bring the trailer back here and see if I can put one of them spring shackles on, just so that I can determine the right height of the right height of the shock. You know, I told you I was going to move the trailer out behind the shop and try and put one of the brackets on. I'm not sure if I'm going to get to the brackets today. What I've done is brought the trailer out here and cleaned up the rims. The rims were, the one of them I had explained in another shop update. The oil cap came off of the end of the hub and I lost the oil. It soaked the inside of the rim. So I'll show you that rim after I've got it cleaned up. But I cleaned up those rims. I'm going to fix this. That's where I was down just north of New York City. That's when they had that like 4 feet of snow that one time. And there was a post buried underneath the snow. And when I went to make a turn into the drop-off point where I was going, the post caught that thing and bent it in. I never saw the post. I just thought it was a snowbank. Yeah, what I did is I pulled all of the binders out and kind of straightened them out again. What happens? Oiled the ratchets, the ratchet straps. What happens is, like salt and stuff gets in there, gets it hard to make to use. So I oiled them all up, lubricated them, and worked them. I did the same thing with the chains, reorganized the chains back in there again. They'd gotten kind of sloppy. So this is the wheel. It was just black with oil residue on the thing. So what I did is got some cleaner from a friend of mine. He has a detail shop here, and he gave me some cleaner that worked on it. As you can see probably over there, there's still a little oil residue in some places, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. Yeah, I've got to just make a small trip to Rochester tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow afternoon, I'm going to pick up that switchgear in Niagara Falls that has to go to Michigan. But anyways, probably not going to get to that. I'm going to wash the trailer also. Just spray it off, get some of that salt off of it. Not that it probably won't snow again, and more salt will get back onto it, but at least it's I've gone through it and got the majority of it off. So it's about 2 hours, it's probably about 4 hours. 4 hours past when I shot that last clip that I told you what I was going to do to the trailer. I did get the trailer done, but I wanted to show you this. We had let one of the tenants borrow the lift so that he could do some work, and I got it back. He was done with it. I got it back, and I brought it in here because I'm thinking about starting to run the airline that's going to come over and supply them. Well, it's going to supply some other things, but it's going to supply them from those compressors over there. But that will be another one. I'm going to shut you off, and I'm going to take you out and show you the trailer after I got done cleaning it and straightening that thing out. So we'll walk up on the trailer. As you can see, I cleaned it. Well, hopefully you can see it. Here is that thing. Now, I wasn't really able to get it all the way straight because what it did is it put a kink in the bottom of it. In order to get it straight, what I would probably have to do is heat it. Heat the bottom of it, and as I'm pushing with the porta-power out on this, bend that bottom back up again. But yeah, I took care of that, got all cleaned up. Now things have changed. I have another haul tomorrow, so I've got to load real early in the morning, 2 bundles of rebar going out to a job site, then go down to Buffalo, pick up some steel that's going to Rochester, go to Rochester, drop that off, and then go up to Niagara Falls and pick up that switchgear that's going out to Michigan on Friday. But anyways, I just thought I'd show that to you. Okay, ironically, I'm showing you the grill off of the haul truck. And why I say ironically I'm showing you the grill off of the haul truck is because Brian Block posted a video yesterday of a farm truck that he bought and is going to do a diesel swap in it. And ironically, the damn truck is the same year as my haul truck that I've been working on, a 1974 Ford. Now his is an F600, mine's an F750. But I showed you that grill because basically kind of the only difference in the cab is my grill is chrome and his grill was white. But that's pretty funny. I had just showed you a previous clip where I told you I was going to get back into this thing again, and about Brian getting that engine rebuild kit for me. that had those different pistons and stuff in it. And then he posted a video. Now, I haven't gotten a chance to watch that entire video. I've been kind of busy, and I only just started to watch it. So I've at some point in time, I've got to watch the whole thing to find out what he's going to be doing to it and what he's doing. But pretty ironic that I had mentioned him and talked about getting back into the salt truck, and he comes up with a project like that too that happens to be the same year, different model. His is again an F600 and mine's an F750, but that's pretty ironic. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe. Again, I'm going to try and leave a link up there to his video. But if I can't do that, I will leave a link to his video in the description also.